how do I don't even know how to say. I do know how to say this. Trevor, Survivor Series sucks.
Oh, it's terrible.
Survivor Series flat out sucks. It sucks in everything. And everything about it is terrible. It's no longer a Big Four pay-per-view. This whole battle of brand supremacy is meaningless because everyone just changes brands every few months anyway. The fact that you don't have qualifying matches, there's no build up to it. There's no story really about it. It sucks. And you know what else? The reason it hurt so bad for people who've watched wrestling for a while, the reason it hurt so bad was Survivor Series used to be a pay-per-view all on its own. It used to be something exciting because not only was it different and a different way to kind of end some big-time feuds, but it had the feel of a Big Four pay-per-view. Survivor Series now is just bragging rights. Like literally bragging rights, the pay-per-view from the 2010-11 era of WWE that nobody watched. It has gotten to a point where Money in the Bank is a Big Four pay-per-view. Like the Big Four pay-per-views, make no bones about it. It's Money in the Bank, WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, and SummerSlam. Yep. Survivor Series is not. The best of the best like gimmick or whatever they're giving it, it's not. Because nobody cares about it. You are having meaningless battles of brand supremacy that don't mean anything. Like this is a pay-per-view that you used to be able to end feuds at. Yep. You used to be able to culminate year-long feuds at. Like I remember the days of Kurt Angle Team Angle versus Team Lesnar. You used to have Stone Team Austin versus Team Bischoff. That 2003 Survivor Series, by the way, one of the best of all time. And it would culminate careers. Stone Cold Steve Austin's career officially ended at Survivor Series 2003 in a great match. And people cared. People watched. It's not even a shell of its former self. It's lost any resemblance to its former self. Because it doesn't matter. There are no stakes. It'd be one thing, Trevor, if like Team SmackDown, if they won, they get, the number 30 entrant or whatever. Or the 4 people on Team SmackDown get to compete to be the number 30 entrant in the Royal Rumble. That would put stakes on this. That's how you could make it mean something. This meaningless BS brand supremacy is just, it's sad. As someone who loved this pay-per-view growing up, my first, and the reason I think it hurts for me specifically is my first pay-per-view that I watched and I remember watching and really turning to become a wrestling fan was Survivor Series 2003. That was the buried live match of The Undertaker and Vince. Mm-hmm. That was Team Angle versus Team Brock, like I mentioned. And you look at those Survivor Series years and you look at this and it's just, it's a throwaway of a throwaway pay-per-view. This is not even a B pay-per-view. This is like a C. It doesn't matter. It's not canon. It doesn't matter. Trevor, what has happened in Survivor Series? What has happened?
You know, whip my whistle. As you said, so Survivor Series is one of my favorite because, like I said briefly, this was my first pay-per-view that I went to. My first live show was a Survivor Series. It was the very last wrestling pay-per-view or wrestling show at the the Cap Center, the old Cap Center up in Maryland. Last wrestling event there. They were closing that year. And it was Undertaker coming back from having his face crushed by King Mabel, who turned into Viscera. He had the old Phantom of the Opera mask on, if you remember that. I believe Goldust was fighting against Razor Ramon. You had Shawn Michaels and Ahmed Johnson on the same team going against the other people. I forget who they were. I think Psycho Sid and somebody else. Then you also had Bret Hart defending his title or winning the title off of Diesel. So it was good matches. It was great matches. I remember every second of it. I was a really young kid, and I still remember to this day everything that happened at that event. Survivor Series was one of my favorite events. And you didn't really even care if the elimination matches didn't really lead up to anything, but it was still fun to watch. It's still fun to watch Undertaker's team beat King Mabel's team. It was still fun. Now it makes no sense. Team Raw versus Team SmackDown. There's only like and it's only like one Survivor Series elimination match, and the rest of it is like single matches. It makes no sense now.
You know what
It's so
else
dumb.
makes no sense? Okay, I talked about the lack of qualifying matches. Trevor, they announced the teams on Twitter. Like on a Saturday afternoon, they announced it's like, oh, these are gonna be the teams, and they've already made changes on Raw. You know what the storyline is? The storyline is Adam Pearce, who, by the way, is in charge of both Raw and SmackDown.
Oh,
Adam Pearce is like the GM, basically, whatever authority figure, both Raw and SmackDown, and he said, well, I want Team Raw to win. So I'm gonna take Dominic out of the match and I'm gonna put Lashley in, which is what they did. And it's like, I'm like, okay, first of all, why do you announce that? Right? Why do you announce that Dominic's gonna be in if you're only gonna just take him out? And then why is Adam Pearce, who oversees both brands, rooting for Raw? Why? Just like, give me one reason why he would. Just give me one reason why he would. Explain it away. But they don't feel like they need to do that.
No, they don't.
That's
like
what
all the storylines are gone. It just doesn't, like you said, it just doesn't make sense. It's useless. The matches are useless anymore. Survivor Series doesn't mean the same thing anymore. It's just change the name of it and call it like piece of shit pay-per-view. I don't know.
Don't test Vince. Do not test Vince. Great balls of shit. Like it's gonna be
in 3D. Like,
thanks for watching this video from Real Take Sports Talk. Remember to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. Also remember to check out our live show every single Thursday at 8 p.m. right here on the YouTube channel. And remember, keep it real.